What up, guys? I want to talk about risk again. Hold up. Let me start this. Cause I want to get because he talked about some action. Let's see him one more time. Cause I got something to say before we start this. Hold up. I'm sorry for the interruption. Now I want to hear you one more time before what you talked about.
What do you actually control in this life? Because it is nothing more than your thoughts, your actions, and your emotions. Every single thing that you control is one of those three. You have to take control of those and use all of those with intention to ultimately create the life that you want. What?
I'm gonna tell you the action when you talk about that. When you act, you get dishonesty and control and lie and racism. And you get a government that like to back the society up. And we got Governor Abbott doing it. And we got the when I called my actions, when I called the call center in 2019 and I got the number, we got rude behavior. We got dishonesty. Where action come at? We talk about action and emotions and we talk about those things. And you put your faith in your business that you work at and they betray you in those things like Walmart. So where you don't want to sue a company, where you thought they was giving you another chance and they betray that trust. And you deal with that. You know what I'm saying? So we our actions and our emotions is come people can end up in a bad situation because of their racism or because of control of managers. And we have to understand those things or where things the conflict at. I'm gonna tell you what my action that my action got lied on with racism intent and all of those things. What price? At what price for this line black on at what price that we live? At what price? I acted calling off that clock and look what I got to portray for their own people, black and white. When we and certain individual with behavior. I called everybody off that number when I was on the clock. Then I tried to call when I was off the clock. And they still betrayed me. We talk about this and these things and how can we get the honesty of those things? Our actions mean nothing without understanding. But one of the Walmart CEOs said I was on his one of the Walmart CEO pages, and he talked about attacking issues in our society. But they have to do their part and listen to every employee and every customer. And some of the managers, they say they're attacking the issue, but they're not really attacking them because they keep going on. So the situation is they are not doing what they're supposed to do.
What do you actually?
I'm gonna tell you something. I felt like I was in Stranger Things, and I had to experience something where names was being called at me, and then the customers looking at me like I'm the bad guy. And these people are bad guys. These employees at Xavier in the deli, they're the bad guy. But why customers, when you don't getting stones thrown at you at 2996 and names been calling you, and Xavier getting jealous, how can we understand that thing? So the thing is, jealousy ruined everything. If the spirit is sold for itself, when we talk about leadership, Doug Miller don't know about leadership because leadership have to listen to everybody's side. Leadership don't lie on somebody and not want to hear him out and tell his former employee that doesn't work at Walmart yet, that didn't work, that is not a good place. It's not a good place for him, not for racism and black and white. This is the environment that we live in that we have to deal with. Let me tell you, when we got civil rights, what that means when this man, Governor Abbott, is still willing to break the rules. When after I asked for, and I went to the civil rights and filed the racial complaint, and he's willing to still break those rules after what they did at the Social Security. He willing because he put his trust in the people, but not in what he seeks in truth and honesty. Those are the things that we have to understand are the coronations of those things, right? Because of those things, action, control, and the way you like. Let me tell you, those are the people that like to behave wrong and they got power. Let me tell you three things God had, and this is the people that crucified God. They had light. God had light, he had power, and he had control, and he had sight. And they had the same thing. But their numbers was more greater than him. And these are the same people about to participate in it. And they know the world. But they how can you understand those things? This man, Governor Abbott, don't know his legacy about to get ruined. The legislature about to go down because they sticking by the community of the society side. And the point is the difference between I had no right being treated wrong at my government building. We talking about our government. We talking about that people should know better. Workers should know how to treat people. And you telling me that these things that government that neglect and abuse people that you don't know about it? And and Senator Ted sit up there, and this is the difference where they have things in paper. So you probably know about the neglect, and you don't want to do nothing about it because you feel people ain't equal as you, and you sitting in Senator Ted sit with these business people, sit with these people because he need them more than he need God to understanding that those complexes of those things. But what action that when voice is not being heard? When our government and our country have it and the people are being selfish because they fighting for certain things. We allow numbers. Let me tell you, the most thing we're gonna have in life, our numbers are gonna self-destruct us. That's the reason of all of these things that we got going on in America. Control, breaking up connections, connection with everybody else. Some people got good into some people got bad intention in life. But this man didn't want to listen. He wanted to lie. Control and action. When you control and have actions, it should have not came with those things and emotions. But they have to be the one that understand. But they didn't. They choose the people over God. And that's the difference between those things of action. What actions in this? And the people, the one that run the world, but God gives them the power to see the truth out of the matter. But if God is not here in the body, God can only defend himself in the spirit of humans. Because if God really come back in the body, humans don't know, they will still deny it. And that's going to be the biggest threat. Hey, how you doing? That's going to be the biggest threat to our society. Thank you. We talk about action, but can our government hear that action with emotions? Look what Trump and them did. They took the society side. How can you understand what Governor Abbott and them doing? But you had to hear over God, and God is with this person. You had to take your people's side over God and that child, and that's the most dangerous thing. And people are trying to kill it because, and it's for their sake. Now, if this could have been avoided from the Justice Department. We talking about if they would have given me my justice and not blow me off because of the community. I've been in this business since 14, and I deal with a lot of things. And when you have a manager or one of the stockers and Coca-Cola wants you to come on their team, and a lady, a Mexican lady, lie, and you do everything to try to talk to these managers, but they walk away from you. Action comes from racism and walking away. This man walked away from me 10 times, even on the clock, and he did it when I was off the clock. How can we understand? And the black and white are doing it with it. And how can we understand that? You know what that lady told me? She don't need God help. But they walk around and act like they're a part of God. But the money is more important than anything. And you really don't understand the concept of those things. DJ Khaled told me something on Facebook. He said, what happened when you find the right one? I want the right architect because I'm an architect. I'm a brilliant mind. So I got to have the architect in the lane of those things. So I don't just want any woman, any type of woman around me that ain't the architect, but they don't have the love of God in them. And I had to deal with a woman that don't have the love of God, but ain't the architect of it. To understand the love of God and to be the architect of the empire that we are dreaming of. Are those things. So I had to really get the concept of life and how things are going on in that format. Action and emotion come with understanding. But when some people deny you to listen to you, how can you understand it? And they're government. How can you understand it when they deny to listen to you and they want you to be treated bad? How can we understand those things and we are pushing ourselves so much to the higher heights? I'm gonna tell you something. I know about the business. I know about how things is on the computer. I know a lot of things. You see, people don't know that much about me. I know what's in that jail computer. But people make threats to me in the society, and I know what's on that computer. Hip hop, some artists, and things are going on. Trust me, I know a lot of things about this music industry. But let me tell you, the same people, they want to tell you which way to go in life, but they don't want to tell you how to be successful. The thing is the punchlines that goes behind everything with those formats. So if you're talking about keys to emotion, I go to the civil rights and I go to the thing and all this. I should not have to, when I messaged the Justice Department, I should have never went to jail behind lies when the DA did something in Dallas. They was in the middle. So when we talk about the Justice Department having power and those coordinations, right? But why did I end up in there and I know they know it. That's control. That's lies that you allow the state of Texas to do. You allow Governor Abbott to do by his lies and his deception. Let me tell you something. Me and this Walmart employee, we always talked about going out. That's the main thing at 297. We never. And one thing we talked about relationship. We talked about a man. She don't want a man to control her. But I told her I wanted to tell her it's not all about control. But you gotta have a relationship with two spiritual sides open, that you can be able to trust each other. Because I want you to be able to, the spiritual side. I don't want people to manipulate you in the mind. Your spirit gotta be open. Your mindset, you gotta see other niggas from afar. When I want you, when you come back home, look, I need you to be on point. I don't need you to get manipulated. But we need to understand it, because if you allow them to do it and you ain't strong enough, that tells the empire up, because you ain't strong enough. I told my brother, I had to talk to my brother the other week this year. I get tired of being around women that ain't strong enough. I can't be the only one that's strong enough. So how can we understand those format plans and those format plans? The keys to those things, I have to understand the universal more of the power points of it. But it got some people that not gonna allow that to happen, and that's the problem for me. They rather be on the people side, and God. God is in the spirit. If they don't know, some of them and I don't even haven't even seen noticed God in the spirit, and that's the biggest, that they're just working it. And those are the key points where you haven't seen God in the spirit, and He's not going to tell you His name, but He might come to you in the detail of a dream to make you wake up to the reality of the situation in different details. So we have to understand to get that God is able to give us in many things. I'm not trying to control a woman, but I need her to see the empire and keep the architect of it good. If we're gonna hang and do this together, I'm not gonna. If I'm in a relationship of power or whatever that is, whatever you're talking about, it's the same thing that I've been in a relationship. You gotta have those things in the coordinations of those things to get where you're trying to get, right? So I'm gonna tell you one thing. I'm in a deli. I'm working in the deli. It's eight of us. There's eight people in the deli. And I'm gonna tell you something. It's about seven that make meat because I left the deli. They make them seven. A lady came. I was watching them from outside the deli, and I say out loud when I'm watching my coworkers inside in the deli, and I'm outside the deli. And I say out loud, Jessica should think before she hired people. And the lady just popped up and said, Hubert, you right. We was able to see the mindset of the jealousy of the employees. So understand those things when we catch the spiritual side, action, power, all of the things you talked about in that conversation got me with the spirit of control, of emotions. But you can't control when the team up at Walmart is against you. And this did do. I had some of my old associates come and trying to talk to me, Cassie and everybody, the friends. We've been going through this, and me and other people friends through years. So I like when people try to get my attention, and and they're trying to get my attention, and I'm dealing with a black narcissist disabled, and you can't get your attention, but and customers looking at you like you the bad guy, and I hated that when I was sitting in there. Y'all need to go ahead with that intimidation and playing stupid, and you don't see what this black man is. And customers will look at you, but you're not paying attention to the behavior of the manager and the employee. Stop looking at the one side of the situation in the spirit, and you need to look at the employee behavior and the manager line. So Dylan Miller talks about honesty. He got more money and power, but he can't give it. Let me tell you, only thing that people care about this world, the product and the money and the prices. They don't care about other things in life because they're so busy about it was what they can get instead of what they can change. And I observed it. I said something that 9/11 could have been avoided. Everybody said it was planned. No, why do you think that? The spiritual behavior. Why would you sit there and watch your enemy do something? That's the main thing. It can't be. I tell you, it can't be planned because if God had His disciple right by the enemy, we would stop that. We wasn't looking out for the spirit of each other. We wasn't loving each other. You got to deal with that. You got to deal with that hypocrite. And then my old friends covered up in there, and I got power and control. And Tabby said, we miss you," and he's rolling his eyes in the spirit when I'm my friend giving me a hug. Even my ex-girlfriend family member was at 299. He drives trucks. And he said, "Hubert, you have grown. We met you. You have grown since you've been on you since a kid." Yeah, look, I lose weight. This right now, when you see me at right now, this is not, right now, we at a phase where we're not moving around as we know it because we're not around the right people. I don't want nobody that this, the thing I'm talking about, I want a woman that can be humble and not put other people in it. And I haven't got that kind of relationship where, like, okay, my income is more than what you make, but I don't care about that. But I need to know if you're gonna be humble. I need to know if you're gonna be humble. And when we're talking about control, emotion, relationship, and power, action, you talking about a lot of power, action, and emotions, and you talking about that can mean anything when we talk about key points and making life better. They have to have sight. Actions got a lot to do with it, but sight and vision of the empire got to have control and action. So we constantly understanding those things. How can we understand and keep up? It's gonna if you get into it and you write everything I just told you down and you put it into the keys of life, you'll understand what I mean. It fit in of what you're talking about. It fit into the keys of life, the business, the whatever you talking about action. It fit in the business and society, if it's the government, if it's all of those things. I'm gonna tell you something. One thing I told my son: never let nobody tell you what you can't do.
Hello,
You know why that?
Sagittarius. Welcome.
You know why that? The schools will power, whatever you, all of that. But let me tell you something. After schools trying to control it, the business gonna try to control it with lies and tell my son what he can't be. And I don't need that conflict of my son being put down with control, power, and action because of the way they want to do life. And that's why most of the people, we got suicide. If you don't want to talk to me, we can get into all of the details of what you're meaning, because what you're talking about, it's going to make sense if you actually identify emotion, control, power, action. But why would I let my son be controlled by actions of another person's behavior in a business? We The thing is this: domination, intimidation.
And what will be needing somebody paid.
I just gotta have. I want to look. My architect skills is going to be so amazing because I have so much to give by personality in those things. So we still got more to play off. Our universe is power. The planet is so much, but the universe got more power than the planet, and power and action and control. The universe up there control the weather, right? They got more action, power, and control and emotion. They got all of these things that they have in life. They got these things.
For about apologies.
So the universe got. Let me tell you something. They said something about Kanye West. Jay Z said something about Kanye West that Kanye he don't got control. Nature don't got control. He know God, so how can he have control? And he don't got control, and how he acts, he don't got those things. Nature, when you believe in God, how can you understand those things? Nature don't got control. God is a storm. God is a storm in the power and controlling actions. God can act in many ways in life with power act. I'm telling you, it's hard to talk about the topic, but if you do the research and you really think it, it'll add up in life. Or what everything I'm talking about, it's got to do with life and what you're talking about. So if we understand the topics of those things, we just gotta get it out, we gotta get it, right? But I will see y'all later. Have a good day. And I just wanted to talk about those things. But I had to argue with my coworker. I wanted to go like we was gonna go out, but I wanted to tell her like I'm not. when you in a relationship and we connect and we talk about that, a person not trying to control, but I need you to have sight. That's power, control, and vision. And most women gotta understand that, like, a man not saying things to actually damn it, like most men not saying those things with power, control, and action and emotion. He just wants you to open your eyes to the bigger picture. That's the thing. You just want to open your eyes up to the bigger picture of what is going on in emotion in the world. But I had to talk about this topic with people, and I'm sorry because I feel like you was talking about a subject, and I know it's opening up many loops, but it got to do with the key points of life because I've been through different situations, and at to Walmart, so and in the government, so we're talking about people are not listening. They are the problem, and we can never solve those things of understanding. Talking about what you say. You help me, I figured out. I can't keep it talking.